So I decided to turn a bowl. Now, I'm not much about doing voiceovers. This might be my first one in a while. So this is a segmented bowl. It's a doggy bowl that I'm making for a friend. And they asked me to do it last minute. So I had to come up with something quickly, and unfortunately I forgot to film it when I was actually putting it together. And things happen, you know. So here I am trying to get the shape on the back of the bowl. It's the bottom of it is what we're looking at. I'm using a lot of the scraper. I love using the scraper. It gives you a nice clean cut. And of course I'm here checking and double checking every time just because I didn't have much time and I did not want to get a chip or I didn't want to screw anything up. The bottom was already very smooth, so that helped out a lot. Here I am using the scraper again, and we're getting some really nice shavings because it was already pretty much a circle when I started. Very nice shape from beginning. I also like to switch tools a lot. I like to go from one scraper to the other to a bowl gouge to just a regular chisel if I have one. This one I'm kind of using just to give it a feel here. I also, get good shavings, but it's nice to try different tools and you go by feel and whichever one gives you the best shavings you kind of stick with. Take the path of least resistance. And once again, I'm going to stop it just to make sure everything's well and that I don't have any deformities or any chips or anything that I might not like or not have might might not have time to correct. I'm gonna try to sand here a little bit, just to make it easier for me on the way, I guess towards the end, so it's easier towards the end here. I'm trying to surface out the bottom so I can attach, so I can flip it around and attach it to my other chuck. I quickly realized that I didn't have really a bottom to attach it to, and I didn't want to lose center. So over here, I thought, well, maybe I'll attach it to my big jumbo jaws, and I'm repositioning the little rubber pieces. In the back of my mind, I knew this wasn't going to work. I just kept trying anyway. Um, as you see there, I'm still contemplating. I'm thinking about it, but I don't know. For some reason, I tried it anyway, and I made it even wider. But towards the end, I ended up just gluing a little walnut ring I had lying around with just hot glue, and it worked very well. I was surprised at how much it was able to hold. So over here, you can see me just failing. It was an attempt, but I had to try it. I knew it wasn't going to work, so you saw that right there. It kind of keeps coming off. And just because I was short on time, it had to be done by morning. I wanted to get it done as fast as possible. But right about here is where I realized that it just wasn't going to work out. That was a nice shot right there, getting very good shavings. But right at about there when I realized so right here is where my camera turned off, so I wasn't able to show you how I transitioned from the jumbo jaws to my other chuck. And I kind of give it a little bit more speed there, and I was more comfortable to keep going and do the inside of the bowl now. And I like to switch tools, but it's always good to have a nice pair of sharp, tools when you cut. Makes a huge difference. Pushing on the bowl in each direction or whichever axle. I am in between trying to fix up my garage and trying to make it more neat. So my grinder isn't screwed down to the table, so I'm fighting it a little bit as it keeps vibrating across the table. And here we are using the scraper and the bowl gouge to get the center out. I wouldn't say I'm a pro at this, but if you go by feel, I guess with each tool, you kind of get a sense of what you should be doing. Here's some really nice shavings that I got from the bowl gouge, and I was really proud of myself there. So I decided to continue with the bowl gouge again, doing kind of like shear cutting in the center, because in the center it was cross grain that I was, see, most of it was dust because it's cross grain, and then the outside ring was mostly with grain, so it made it nice shavings instead of dust. Here's a nice closer look as I'm just doing more of a kind of what you would do with a scraper that I did with a bowl gouge. And I wanted to get this rather thin, but I also wanted the bowl to be more concaved. I kept thinking that the dog is gonna. Well, here's some more shavings with dust collected now when you mix the two. But yeah, I wanted the bowl to be more concave since the dog's gonna be eating out of it. And I kind of wanted it to appear more of a bowl than just a, I don't know, a shape, like a circle. I just like to do some rough sanding in between. It makes it a little easier. I don't recommend using that tool, just because the wide gouge. It's supposed to be for spindle turning, and I end up using it for other things. Not sure why I do that, but it happens. And here I am trying to check the bowl again for anything that might get in my way later or I don't like. You get a lot of chips and dust after you're turning. So now I started to sand this 120. I should start doing it with a drill. So over here, I kind of tried doing something my professor told me about doing when I was in high school, but I quickly abandoned this idea. He said that if you run the sandpaper with your finger, the wood would follow the shape of your finger, and you wouldn't be really changing the shape of the wood. But it kind of just annoyed me, and I quickly abandoned it, and I just went back to normal sanding, relatively because the wood was already the shape I wanted it to be. And checking it again, just making sure that it's not being dumb on me. I didn't like the bottom of the bowl and the way it was just one flat surface. I kind of got carried away and I blocked the camera, but I ended up just making it more. That's me reminding myself that I'm filming. So I kind of made it more of a concave bottom, and then I went back to sanding. I think it went up to like maybe 400 or 600 grit when I did all the sanding. And it does make a lot of dust everywhere. So I thought I'd apply some finish. So I used some boiled linseed oil to just get all the dust just to get all the dust off first. And it seemed to do pretty well, but I think this was my mistake when I, after this, tried to apply the lacquer finish. Um, it looked really great. The color came out nice, but the lacquer started to kind of bulk up and get clumpy, and it just wouldn't sit on the wood. It kind of started just to collect on top, and I really didn't like that. So I got my scraper, I cleaned it all out, and I reapplied the beeswax finish. I think I went with that. So here I am trying to apply the lacquer, and you'll see me kind of struggling a little bit to apply it. I thought I'd apply it first without turning the lathe on, but I quickly abandoned that too. And I thought I'd give it a shot here. And I thought maybe the pull and the tug that it's giving me is because I don't have enough lacquer on my paper towel, but it wasn't. And for some reason, it just didn't want to sit, you know, flat or smooth. This me trying to clean out the clumpy portions of it, and that failed too. It kept tugging, and it just kept looking very unattractive. So I quickly abandoned that too. I thought that maybe if I used a heat gun, it would kind of help out, but it didn't. Um, so yeah, you guys, thanks for watching. If you like the style of videos, like, comment, subscribe. If you want any more, just let me know. And here's the bowl with the puppy that she got the bowl, which hopefully she'll grow into it because she can literally sit in it for now. Thanks.